So here we are, playing around with the trailer again. I haven't used it this year because of the whole lockdown situation, but there's some places further afield that I really want to get to for mushroom foraging, etc. But the main issue is that whilst this was great for like a summer excursion, pulling that down, using that lid to slide out, what I'm trying to do is to create a bit more of a permanent solution, because what I've realised is that I might be able to just about squeeze this trailer into a parking space, even whilst charging, if I did lengthen it to 6 foot. Now I'm only going to lengthen it out to about here and leave the wheels where they are, because all the weight's still going to be in the front of the trailer. So technically we should still be okay in terms of weight distribution. And I'm just going to put a simple door on the back and have just be able to actually sit upright in there and be able to put a portaloo in there, because these whole restrictions nowadays, a lot of the public toilets are sadly closed. So yeah, so that's the plan, and I'm going to hopefully have a little bit more of a comfortable sleeping pod. So here is my finished sleeping pod. I've just simply extended it and rebuilt it a little bit, and it tows quite well actually, and this should just about fit into a parking bay. And there's all the bedding in there, and then there's a little worktop. I don't know if you can see, I've locked the door, so there's a little worktop there, and then everything, the storage underneath there. And that side just drops down and creates the bed, but I'll show you a bit about that later. So here we are at my first stop, which is Tesco. I've done 51 miles from home. Now what I'm actually quite surprised to see is that despite this extension on the trailer, I haven't lost hardly any range from what I had before when I was towing. So I'm getting around 8.6 miles per 8.6 miles per volt, which isn't terrible. So I'm almost halfway actually. I've just got to get down to another 60 miles to the next point, and then it's only 10 miles to my destination. So yeah, we're doing quite well. I'm just going to rest up here and then carry on. Now the other thing I wanted to mention quickly is I'm actually able to charge a bit faster now, because what I thought might be a problem was if I plug this third charger in. This is the original G-WIZ charger. Now I've plugged that in on top of these chargers, which means I should be getting around 90 to 100 amps an hour charge, which has increased my charge time by, I don't know, I should be putting in about 140 amps actually, because 54 times 204 should be putting in 140 to 150 amps. So what I've actually done is reduced my charge time from about 4 hours to about 3 hours, 3.5 hours. So that's much better. So I should only have to wait here for about an hour before I have to go again. So there we go. So that's the other thing I've managed to do, is to increase my charge speed using the original onboard charger, and it's not cutting out the 7 kilowatt post, which is what I thought it might do. So that's a bonus. And the other thing is we're about a year down the line from when I first installed the batteries into this car. Well, we're over a year now, about a year and a half, and there's hardly any degradation on the cells themselves. If you remember, I put they're made up e-bike batteries, 18 of them, and there's about 23 kilowatt hours of battery power in here. Now all of them are still functioning perfectly well, and I've still got a range of about 120, 150 if I don't have the trailer. So I've got about 90 miles range with this trailer connected. And what I've also got here, you see, is I've connected this up to here. So the future is to power the trailer electronics, have a heater in there as well, but for now I've only got a 300 watt inverter which will power the basic electronics, a laptop, a light. But in the future I've got an induction hob in the trailer itself, and that's what I'm going to use for cooking. So the only time I can do that for now is when I'm here. I'll plug into this socket down here and I'll be able to use my induction hob and cook and all that kind of stuff, where if I end up at a campsite, same thing. But as I say, in the future I plan to hook a 48 volt inverter, a 3000 watt inverter, directly to the 48 volt batteries, and that will give me a completely off-grid power supply. So yeah, so I'm just going to wait for a while, charge up here, and then we'll head off closer to the New Forest. So I did kind of speak too soon. I came out from Tesco after buying a few bits, and the charger had actually gone red. So adding my third charger in must have overloaded it at some point. So that's a no-go, unfortunately. Hey, it was worth a try. I'm back to charging normally at 104 amps, which still isn't terrible. So I'm almost there. I've been here for about an hour, and once I'm fully charged, we'll head off again. But here's the trailer now that the door's open. As you can see, I've just bought a few things like the rug. I've got a saucepan and everything. But the reason I extended the trailer as well, actually, is adding this, because you know all the public toilets are closed and everything, with having COVID and all that kind of stuff. I've got my portaloo in here. I've got my laptop, my fishing gear in the back, I've got my clothes in there, and I've got this worktop, which the induction hob will come out and go on top of here, and then this side slides down and I'll end up with a whole bed space in here. So it makes it a little bit more practical, so I don't have to keep worrying about where I'm going to pull up. I can just park up anywhere that I want to. And the great thing about this extension is that I bought no wood at all. I recycled everything off of the sleeping pod trailer that I built for the solar trike, and I also used bits that I built for the slide out part. If you remember the colour of this, I used the slide out part to build it down into here, but all the structural wood I took out of the sleeping pod trailer, if you look back at my other videos about the solar tricycle. So nothing went to waste. I upcycled, and this is the finished thing. So the next step now is to get down towards, we'll be on the edge of New Forest, just in near Southampton, charge up once more, and then we'll head off into Ashdown, and I'll probably pull up at Keyhaven tonight, get some fresh sea breeze, because I haven't had it all summer and I need it. So there we go, almost ready to set off, and I'll keep you posted. So here we are. I made it last night about 10 o'clock, so I couldn't take a video, but we're back down at Keyhaven. It's just so amazing to be here again after a year. The fresh sea air. But it's hard to find a spot because it's very, very popular at the weekend. Look at all the campers. But I was a bit worried in the night because I heard splashing against the wheels. And I looked out the window and the whole road was flooded. But it didn't come up too high. We can see on the wheels how far it came up. So I don't think it went inside the car. But there's some high ground up there, so I might park there in the future. But otherwise it's been a good journey. The trailer's travelled well, and the car's still going strong. You can see my dehydrator in there for the mushrooms if I find mushrooms while I'm away. And that's the main purpose of coming down here, is to do a bit of mushroom foraging. So yeah, that's the journey. We did 125 miles, or 120 miles. And yeah, time to relax for the weekend.